You read the title, it's time to ask, is it possible to beat Super Chipflake without collecting any star bit, Catnip? Before you ask, yes, I watch Senior Craft. So the short answer to the question is yes, and it's actually not that hard. So I think it's a better question to ask, can you 100% Super Chipflake without collecting any star bits? Obviously not, since they are part of the 100%, but if you exclude them, well, the short answer is also no. But, you know, the short answer is boring. So to the long answer. Our first obstacle already starts to arise immediately after we watch the intro. Chipflake, being in a cutscene state, immediately walks into the first Catnip. So that's obviously suboptimal, but there is a way around it. Sometimes the starting cutscene breaks and Chipflake doesn't actually leave the house. And that's our opportunity. This is also why I'm actually playing an older version of the game, since on the newest version there is a teleporter in the house that teleports you out if you're still in the house after the cutscene. I'm not fully sure if it teleports you into your Catnip, but I didn't want to risk it. Just so you all know, Catnips are kind of magnetic and Chip is kind of a magnet. So even if you don't directly touch them, they will come to you. After leaving the house, we're gonna follow the path down to Brocco, while staying as far away from the Catnip as we can. We then gonna get the first hairpiece, which is surrounded by Catnip that we need to jump over. The other hairpiece is not an issue. Then we're gonna go back to Brocco, complete the quest to open the rest of the game. We're walking around Schlatt, doing various quests to get enough coins to buy every item in Schnitzelville. Also collected some collectibles on the way, and our first ingredient. The catnips were mostly easily avoidable. There was one on the tree while doing the candy pony quest that was a little more tricky, and entering Candyland was also a little tricky. Next, we entered the cave that leads to Schnitzelville. We used a spring mushroom to skip all the catnip on the machinery. We also didn't install the battery since we didn't need it, and we can complete another quest in Schnitzelville if we don't insert the battery. After we're out the cave, we're jumping around the outer perimeter of the outside of Schnitzelville to avoid the catnips on the way. And then we enter Schnitzelville. Next, we're doing all the easy quests we can in Schnitzelville, collect our coins from Barbara, and buy all the equipment from the Dice Mice shop. Our next tricky spot is trying to complete the clock quest, since there are some catnip quite close to the NPC. We also collected some of the collectibles around Schnitzelville. Before we're leaving Schnitzelville, we're gonna take all the pots with us for the Link quest. We're walking around Schlatt looking for more pots and find two at the farm taunting us, hiding behind catnip. We get 2 pots from the ship, which were relatively easy, but a little scary, of all the catnip around that area. For our last 2 pots, we went back to Schnitzelville. After we were done with the pots, we collected more easy collectibles and did more quests around Schlatt. We tried the pizza quest, but one of the NPCs was in a tricky location, so we just retried until we got a more favorable spot. We also completed the gamer quest and the minigolf quest, so we now got 3 more ingredients. Getting the film roll near the tutorial location was a little more tricky, and getting up the tree where the film wall on the farm is located was also tricky since the main path was blocked by catnip. Getting the last music disc piece in Schnitzelville was also a little scary since it was quite close to a catnip. Getting balloons for the stacking quest was also a little tricky given the fact how many catnips are in Candyland, and the main reason why we need balloons, and this many, is because since upgrades are bought with catnip, we can't increase at all how many items we can carry. So the biggest item in the game, at least to my knowledge, is the balloon with the fan that you can build. And if we have 3 of them plus another fan, that is high enough to reach the nose. So that's what we did. The picture on the windmill required some jump shrooms, since the mill was filled with catnip. The picture in Candyland also needed 2 jump shrooms, and at first I made it more complicated than it actually is, since my initial tries were done from an unoptimal location. The 4th disc piece in Trashland was a little close to a catnip, but nothing too bad. Getting the ones in the pirate ship was scary, but not too bad. On the farm I needed to jump from the ladder, since I wasn't able to get to the ceiling of the silo, since there was a catnip on it. The disc I left for last was the one in Candyland, and that took a little. Since, like the picture, one of the disc pieces was on a candy tower, and that one was a lot harder to climb than the last one. And that candy tower was littered in catnip. And with that, we now got all the music discs. So getting all of those is already proven possible. The film wheel in Schnitzelville made some issues, since one roof has 2 catnips on the left and right, and you need to just go through the middle. And you really need to be like perfect, otherwise you will get one of them. Then we did a sick jump down to the film wall at the water, since the normal way was blocked by catnip. So I left the condor, the skyscraper building for last, since I thought it might be hard to get on it, but I was able to just use the grappling hook. There was no catnip in the way. I just need to be a little careful on the roof. So we did the Where Are My Keys quest and got the last ingredient. So with all the 5 ingredients gathered, we can now tell the cook to make us our schnitzel and to beat the game. So we've proven that that's possible. But what's left now? So the only quest that we weren't able to complete is the blue crystal one, since you need to dig out 3 digging spots where blue catnip crystals come out, and you can't run away from them. They will follow you indefinitely, and even if you immediately close the game after you dig them out, the game will still add them to your total. So yeah, that quest is basically impossible without collecting catnip. You could only complete it if you say it doesn't count as collected because you aren't physically collecting them. Which I guess you could count, but I don't. Then we're also still missing the catnip detector in our book. I did build it. If you want to be stingy and say that it's catnip in the name, but you can also just buy the recipe for it, so you don't need to build it. We also filled out all the NPCs in our book. Now the last picture that we're missing is the one on top of the ship, and I did use a mod to slow down the game to make that jump easier, but I think in the end I probably would have been able to do it without it, because I thought you would only be able to do it if you like fall onto a mushroom in the exact right moment. But no, there is enough space in between the catnips that you can just glide. So with that we got all the paintings. The final 2 film rolls in Candyland and on top of the condo are not collectible because the film collectibles that they spawn are just way too close to the catnips. Like they are inside the collection radius of the catnip. You can see in the video I also got a mod to show that radius, and yeah, you just can't get them. And even if there would be some sort of way to getting them without getting the catnip, even though they are so close to them, you probably wouldn't be able to do it in time. We then also went and bought all the recipes, even though we technically already had them, since the game does still like track that in a sense. So the final 2 things that are like still missing that I didn't declare as impossible are the ice key and opening the ice door and going to the minigame. So the ice key is obtainable. I didn't do it myself. I asked speedrunners to do it. You can clip into the room and clip out again, and you can also clip through the ice door, which probably shouldn't be necessary, since I would assume that if you have the key it would open even if you don't have 100% collection, but I didn't try that, but it doesn't really matter, you can get in there anyways. So yeah, to recap, the only things that we can't get is 1 quest and 2 film worlds. Everything else is obtainable in one way or the other. And with that I would say this challenge was mostly a success. I mean, I guess we haven't got 100%, but then again that was the question of the video itself, so if you wanna see the entire one, I am uploading it. It's part of my Let's Play series, and in the end card I will link to it. It should also be linked in the info card. I would say don't forget to rate the video, and ciao.